the KMNN studios, this is the Kids Morning News Network.
Good morning, friends. It's July 17th, 2024, and I'm Alex in the KMNN studio in New York. It is National Hot Dog Day. Hey, for hot dog history, go check out the show from a couple of weeks ago, July 8th. And make sure you munch a dog while you do it. It's also Text a Podcaster Day. Not really, but you can text me here in the KMNN newsroom right from the show notes. Check it out right now while you're listening. There is a new world champion this morning. The fastest unicyclist to cross Ireland? That's right, over 5 days, 5 hours, and 23 minutes, Eamon Keaveney, who is from Ireland, pedaled his unicycle 308 miles from Mizenhead in the south of Ireland to Malinhead in the north, crushing the previous record by, well, actually there wasn't any previous record. He's the first. But he did set himself a 6-day time limit, so he couldn't just, take his time and enjoy himself. He spent about 12 hours a day pedaling, and since unicycles don't have gears or even handlebars, he really had to pedal the whole time, even while he was going downhill. He said that he did get a bit sore in the seat, but the even bigger problem was his ankle, which swelled up from being used so much. This was a pioneering effort in more ways than one. Eamon had never ridden a unicycle before he decided to go for the record. But in another way, it was business as usual. He already has one Guinness World Record. In 2016, he completed the world's longest barefoot journey. So what drove him from plodding to pedaling? Well, he says the unicycle record just had, and I'm quoting him here, the perfect mix of daunting and ridiculous. And like he did with his world record barefoot journey, he donated all his proceeds to charity. Congratulations, Eamon. You sound like a real Kids Morning News Network kind of champion. Some good news this morning if you're planning to join a moon mission when you get older. Scientists may have figured out where your Moonbase will be. In a cave. Yep, the first ever cave has been identified on the moon. Some scientists say it could be a great spot for a moon base. Having a roof made out of rock would protect moon people from some of the dangers that will face the lunar pioneers. Since the moon doesn't have an atmosphere like the Earth does, it gets much more radiation from the sun. Temperatures are extreme, and there's always a risk of tiny meteorites which don't burn up like the ones that fall to Earth. The cave is in the part of the moon called the Sea of Tranquility, which is the same area that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin touched down when they became the first humans to land on the moon 55 years ago this month. I mean, it's sort of the same area. The Sea of Tranquility is actually pretty big, and this cave is about 250 miles from where the Apollo 11 lander is still sitting. And it's not really a sea, it's an old lava field. You can actually see it when you look up at the moon. The cave is located down in a deep pit. It's actually the deepest pit that's ever been discovered on the moon. It was spotted by radar, and the scientists who discovered it, they're in Italy, think it's about the size of 14 tennis courts and 3 football fields deep, at least. They say it's probably part of a lava tube, which is, well, kind of like it sounds, a tube that lava used to flow through, and the pit part of the cave is where the roof collapsed. So before people move in, they're going to have to reinforce the roof, but they say it's still easier than building a moon base from scratch. Now, if you miss your spot in this cave, don't worry. There are hundreds of these pits on the moon. Scientists say probably many, many more caves. And with all the lava tubes, well, might be the beginning of a moon subway system. right, it's riddle time. Monday's riddle was, what kind of tree can you carry in your hand? The answer? A palm. Get it? Today's riddle is, what room do ghosts stay out of? That's good to know. What room do ghosts stay out of? I will give you the answer on Friday, but if you text me from the link in the show notes, I'll give you the answer before Friday. All right, so send me a text. On this day in 1955, one guy's crazy dream came true, and you could say launched a bunch of other dreams as well. The guy I'm talking about was an animator and a movie producer in Los Angeles. Movies weren't quite enough for him, though. His idea was to build a huge kind of movie set that kids and their parents could come visit and have it be almost like they were in a movie. He thought he'd build it next to his studio in Burbank, California, but he kept making it bigger and bigger. So he bought a bunch of orange groves down in Anaheim, California, south of Los Angeles, and started building it there. He even bought extra land to build things he hadn't thought of yet. You know where I'm talking about? It's Disneyland, which opened this day, July 17th, 1955. It was actually supposed to be a very small opening, mostly for reporters and guests that were invited, but people heard about it and made fake tickets and sold them. And when the day rolled around, 28,000 people showed up, and that was about double the number who were actually invited. It was a big event, it was on TV, and it was kind of a disaster. Traffic was all backed up. The special live television coverage was confused, and the hosts, including the man behind it all, Walt Disney, made all kinds of mistakes. It was 101 degrees, and a lot of the water fountains didn't work. People's shoes got stuck in wet asphalt. They ran out of food. The riverboat was overcrowded and almost sank, while other rides didn't even work yet. All of which is to say, pretty much anything that could have gone wrong went wrong. But Walt Disney and everyone else didn't let it stop them. You know the rest. In 1955, after they got everything together, 1 million people visited the park. In 2022, it was close to 17 million. So things don't always go the way you plan them, but don't give up. All right, looks like a lot of rain in the forecast today in the southwest and all up and down the eastern part of the country, which may not really help the intense heat we'll be feeling many places, even up there in the Pacific Northwest. And that's the show. Thank you very much for listening. Hey, this is episode 91. Episode 100 is coming up. Anything you want to hear, let me know by texting me from that link right there in the show notes. I'll be back on Friday. I hope you are too. From the KMNN Newsroom, this is Alex, signing off.